Hello everyone. I'm shooting this video for my students at Moshannon Valley Junior Senior High School and also for my students at Spots Music Center, the percussion students. This is a lesson on the drum solo for the song Wipeout by the Safaris and how to use it as an excellent warm-up to work on accents and taps. So I'm just going to play a little clip of the song and I'm going to play along a little bit so you can hear it. I'm not going to play too much though so it doesn't get cut out. I'm going to stop it right there. So the introduction to this song is a very famous introduction, and it was one of the first like rock and roll songs in the 1960s that featured a drum solo at the beginning of it. But this is also a great opportunity to work on stick heights and accents and taps. So that goes about 160 beats per minute, and I'm going to provide links to the sheet music for it in the comments or on the video. This is my first time doing a video like this, so somewhere around the video there will be links for this. But primarily what this works on is something called accents and taps and two different stick heights. So what you hear at the beginning of that, I'm going to slow this down. So it goes about 160 beats per minute. See here. So what you hear is you hear basically just straight 16th notes. 1 E-enda, 2 E-enda, 3 E-enda, 4 E-enda, 1 E-enda, 2 E-enda, 3 E-enda, 4 E-enda. Really soft. And then some of those 16th notes are brought out as accents. So the first step in getting this pattern down is to be able to play the 16th notes at tap stick height. So before I talk about that, I'm going to talk about what is an accent and what is a tap. Accent is kind of what I call a level 2 stick height. That would be with the stick maybe 3 to 6 inches from the drum. That's more of a loud or fortissimo note. Tap is probably about ½ of an inch to an inch from the drum. And most beginning students are really good at this. They're really good at the accent part of it. It's the tap part, the soft part of it, that is more of a challenge than anything else. So the first part of this is to try to play the 16th notes as quietly as you can. Just straight 16th notes. And really just trying to keep that as soft as I can. So that's the first part of it. Playing it as soft as you can. And then the second part to this would be just playing the accent pattern. So in the first exercise, what I have is the notation just for the accent pattern. All the accents for this are in just the right hand. So that's going to sound something like this. So all with the right hand. And these are all at a level 2 stick height. So that's going to be the first exercise. The second exercise, what we do with the second exercise is we turn that accent tap pattern and we fill inner notes in the accent pattern with tap 8th notes. So that's I'm going to slow this down so you can hear what that might sound like. Slow this down a little bit. So what I'm doing with that is I'm playing that same accent pattern, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and 4. But I'm filling it in with that 8th note subdivision in between with tap notes. That 1 and 2 and 3 and And again, I'm doing this all with the right hand and just keeping a steady eighth note pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and 4. And you could do that slower if you need to as well. So that would be exercise 2. The third exercise fills in everything with 16th notes. So I'll slow it down. And that's the basics of the pattern. So first, you're starting with just the accents. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and 4. Adding in eighth note taps. We'll call those the inner beats with the right hand only still. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and 4. And then finally adding in the left hand for the inner 16th notes. So this is a really good warm-up and exercise to work on 2 different stick heights, accents, and taps, because it also works on a type of stroke called an upstroke and a downstroke as well. So basically, if you've been playing drums for a little while, you're probably pretty familiar with a rebound or regular stroke like this, where you're just bouncing the stick. A downstroke would be playing an accent followed by a soft note. So I'm starting at a level 2 stick height and I'm ending at a level 1 stick height. Like that. And that would be my accents. And just practicing downstrokes. Just to get that control with the right hand, the left hand. And then an upstroke would be playing a tap note, a soft note, at a level 1 stick height, followed by a loud note. So that would look like that. It's almost like touching a hot oven and pulling your hand away like that. So what happens when I'm playing something like this, as in exercise 2, I'm actually doing the first note is a downstroke, and then the second note is an upstroke. Doing that again, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And then the last part of that is down, rebound, up, up, down, up. So I'm really kind of using, it's kind of like I'm switching gears with my hand a little bit. A lot of those downstrokes are kind of coming from the front of the hand, like this, and the rebound strokes, where the upstrokes kind of come from the back part of the hand, like that. Another way to kind of get a feel for upstrokes is to hang a stick upside down like this, and keeping your fulcrum steady, and just taking your back few fingers and tapping it, using just your fingers and tapping it up against your arm. So when you're doing taps or upstrokes, you're kind of doing the same thing, like that. So it takes a little bit of time to get used to. You might even need to spend just some time warming up, like a week or 2, just warming up to doing just the accents only. Then maybe the next week adding in those inner eighth notes. And then afterwards, when you're comfortable with that and once it's nice and steady, adding in 16th notes. It doesn't have to be at tempo at first. You can start even as slow as 80 beats per minute. So here's what it would sound like at 80 beats per minute. Let me slow the metronome down here. So exercise 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and 4. Exercise 2, adding eighth notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and 4. And then finally, exercise 3, which would add the 16th notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, another thing that you can work on, once you're comfortable with that, you can gradually increase the tempo until you hit about 160 beats per minute. That's the tempo of the song. Another thing that you can work on too is just really concentrating on playing those 16th notes as soft as you possibly can, like that. It's really the contrast between those soft 16th notes and the loud accents that creates the pattern, the interest in the pattern. And for the most part, it's not the accents that we have trouble with, it's the finesse and using the fine motor skills and the small muscles to really have control over the sticks when we're playing faster and playing the softer notes like that. That's usually what the challenge is with a pattern like this. And there's a bunch of patterns like this in all kinds of music, just not rock and roll. So it's a really good thing to get used to. So I hope that you found this video helpful, and feel free to post questions in the comments if you have any questions about this. And stay healthy and try to enjoy music as much as you can.